Welcome to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. I'm your host, Fabian motherfucking Ojeda, and I don't know shit, but that's okay. All right, let's get this shit started. Thank you everybody for listening to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. Hope you all enjoyed episode number 18, the singles panel. That episode was definitely a lot of fun. There are a lot of different perspectives. I might have one of those panels again. Maybe another singles party, who knows, but for sure, another panel of some sort. Moving on, we got a new topic today. Not all things are one size fits all, but most people usually don't give that a second thought. For some of us, though, even the simplest things requires some planning ahead or some consideration. So for this episode, I ask you all to put yourselves in the shoes of someone living the big and tall life. So this episode, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I have two guests today, but I'll be interviewing each one of them separately, and we're going to combine the episodes. So definitely trying a lot of new things for the format of the show, seeing what fits. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first guest for episode number 19. He's the blogger behind the Living Big and Tall blog. Welcome to the podcast, Mark Zepeda. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good, Fabian. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. How are you doing?
Good, man. I think I just mentioned offline, just trying to stay away from this heat,
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Humidity and big guys don't mix.
No. Yeah, you gotta definitely double up on that powder and cologne, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So, interesting fact, Mark, you're actually the first person that I interview that I don't know in real life, and I think, that's a good thing. It's a little turning point in the podcast. It's making me reach out to people, from a wider range of guests. But I came across your profile on Instagram. I clicked on your link, and I really like what you were going for with your blog. I haven't seen anything like it before. How did you come up with the concept of living big and tall?
So, that's really good to hear that, kind of expanding. And, I reviewed some of your podcasts.
Yeah.
I thought they were super honest and just kind of real. And that's pretty much exactly what I'm going for with my blog.
All right.
So I thought it was an awesome opportunity and a good fit.
Definitely.
As far as the concept, I'm a person, I'm very detail oriented. I always want to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So that usually leads me personally to the internet, to reviews or YouTube.
Right.
Unfortunately, when I find some of those things, it's kind of bits and pieces here and there, not necessarily something kind of like a one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of wanted to come up with something that's a little bit different. I always see all these reviews for clothing and, fitness stuff. And I'm like, well, what about the big guys? What about, what about everyone else, So I wanted to change that up, and I want to provide some honest information in one place. So that's kind of how I came up with it.
Yeah. It's definitely something that could be helpful. I think I've been, big and tall probably, I want to say all my life. Cause I remember personally, kind of getting a little chubbier in elementary school. In high school, college, I was a little bit more, in shape. I was a high school wrestler, college wrestler. But after that, I really kind of struggled to, like I always say, straddling the line between big guy and fat guy, And
yeah.
It's something that a lot of people don't think about. You start to get a little bit bigger and things kind of change a little bit. How long have you been living the big and tall life?
So honestly, pretty much all my life. When I was little, I was on the chunkier side. As I grew up, I was always bigger. I played football for Centennial. It's pretty well-known school for football.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I hurt my back, so I couldn't really continue with that. So I was pretty fit around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into going to the gym quite a bit after high school.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got married in 2012, it's kind of when the weight really kind of started coming on, because it's all right, let's go eat some Albertas, let's go out on a date, that kind of thing, and then it kind of goes downhill from there,
Yeah, that Alberto's at 3 a.m. definitely is a big one, huh? Yeah,
exactly. Those card up to our price.
Because I used to be a bouncer for a very long time, and the only thing open at 3 or 4 a.m. is Alberto's or Denny's or IHOP or something like that. So everything's very, meat heavy, carb heavy. So it's you get heavy.
Exactly.
But I like what I saw on your blog, that you're reviewing things that people don't even think about. I noticed that You're going to take on, like event seating, for example. That's usually super problematic. And I don't think most people understand that. That's honestly, for me, one of the reasons that I avoid, most concerts and events myself. And I know you, Mark, you're a California guy, right? So, somewhere like, have you been to Staples Center before?
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of overall with like the reviews itself, it's just kind of something where I sat down, like, man, like I think about these things like on a daily basis, but I'm sure others do too. But I mean, we're on the bigger side. You're like, you kind of maybe shy or kind of embarrass certain things. So I'm like, why not come up with things on a every kind of day-to-day basis, like some shoes or a bike and event seating, and eventually kind of want to get into like traveling, like airlines, things like that.
Right.
So with like the event seating, I know that's like number one thing in the back of my mind, and I always try to go online and look, how big are the seats, or how wide are they, how far are they apart from like my knees, because my 6'4", 350 pounds, kind of like on the it's tough.
Yeah. So
I look at all those things, and I just thought, okay, well, this would be an awesome opportunity to kind of create something that people can kind of reference and hopefully, help them out, with planning.
Right.
But as far as the Staples Center, I have been there, but I've been there in a box suite. So I didn't get to sit in the seats.
Uh-huh.
But this is kind of like a funny kind of thing that kind of has helped kind of shape what I'm going for, because my dad has been there. He's about 6 foot tall. He's about 280 pounds. And he said, I wouldn't recommend that you ever go to the Staples Center. He's like, I went to go, watch a show or something like that, and I was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, being shorter than I am and smaller than I am, I was like, interesting. So he's like, you'll probably have like a hard time. So when I was coming up with this whole concept about living big and tall, that kind of advice was kind of burning in my mind, because that's exactly what I want to do for others. So I want to be, my dad was my guide or my template as a size. And I took that and made a determination that probably not a good idea to go there.
Right.
So I want to do the same thing and say, hey guys, this is my, this is my size. I'm 6'4", I'm 350. Put yourself in my shoes. If you're bigger, it might be a little bit tougher. Or if you're smaller, or you're the same size or something like that, then you're, good to go. Thumbs up. Right. So that's kind of, that's kind of what everything kind of, kind of what I'm going for. At the end of the day, in my current job, I'm a trainer for a large health insurance company. Okay. So all I do is help people. And that's kind of what I want to do, is kind of help others who might be in the same situation, maybe how I was in the past, kind of like shy and embarrassed, right? And hopefully allow them to have enough information to get out there. Yeah. To get out there. I made a little slogan, like "Live life," right? Right. So that's pretty much kind of what I want to do.
And I like that, live life, because I take full accountability for letting myself get, the size that I'm at, and it's like, I'm not begging anybody to like, make things special for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not asking anybody like, cater to my needs, but, eventually I do need to obviously, lose some weight. But it's like, it is what it is right now. I'm at where I'm at. And so, that whole concept of, live your life, right? It's helpful mentally, because it's like, what can we do at this point? Right. And so having like a guide to help navigate things like, cars, event seating and stuff like that is very helpful. For, the example of Staples Center, I've been there, and I think it's terrible, for a normal, normal sized, average sized guy, because the shoulder and hip space are like non-existent, for me, I have, pretty wide shoulders, and even, if I didn't need the extra hip space, I'd still feel like, I'm bugging somebody because I have to cross my arms or something, and, for someone like you who's taller, you might as well have somebody's head right in your lap, you know, and while you're hugging everybody else around you, might just turn into a big Staples orgy or something, you know?
I 100% agree. And it's funny that you touch on something that it kind of really resonates with me because where you're saying, you know, I know that I need to lose some weight. I know I need to be healthier. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not saying like, oh, being big and tall, like, you know, it's the healthiest thing for you. Right. Not at all. Mm-hmm. But you touch on a perfect point is that you are where you are right now.
Right.
So that's kind of, I feel like in today's day and age, it's like, you gotta be this, you gotta be that, and then you'll be good and this, right? But the problem is we are all at where we're at right now. So how do we enjoy our life right now?
Right.
So that, you know, that touches a perfect, you know, really good point that you made there.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, that's what the mentality that's been helpful, you know, because when I can't do something or I need, you know, some sort of accommodation, you know, I'll have like my older brother be like, well, just lose weight. It's like, yeah, jackass, I'm trying. You know, it's like, you know, or I'll get there, you know, it's like, it's not going to change from today to tomorrow, you know? But that's what's helped me with my mentality. It's like, look, I've been there before, you know, I've done it before where I felt, you know, comfortable and was able to do, you know, things without having to overthink it. But, you know, it takes some time and in order to not get super depressed about it, you know, you've got to have that mentality of I'll get it done, you know?
Of course. Of course. And as I mentioned, like with my current role as a corporate trainer, you know, trying to help people and to see that light bulb turn on when they learn something. Because the kind of stuff that we go over is pretty intense stuff. So it's like billing and claims and all this crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. So I myself, you know, I want to be also kind of, you know, potentially someone that anybody can connect with. Like if you have questions, if you have concerns, if, you know, you need that kind of uplifting kind of conversation, then, you know, I have no problem at all to connect with people.
For sure. All right. So one thing, you know, moving on about, you know, like events and stuff like that, one thing that kind of bums me out actually about the Big and Tall life is I'm not able to go on most like roller coasters at all. Have you kind of experienced that?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's kind of one of the main reasons that I also have amusement parks on my blog on there. So when I went to Disneyland for grad night, a bunch of friends, everybody's walking around, having a good time, right? Mm-hmm. And a bunch of friends are like, hey, let's go to California Adventure, and there's this swing ride. And when I was in high school, I was still pretty big. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, that there's that swings, and then as it goes faster, it starts, you know, kind of going higher and higher.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny because we all got on the ride, and I sit down, the little bar in front kind of very tightly fit. Uh-huh. But then one of the attendants come up and he's like, hey man, like you're too heavy, like you're going to have to get off. I'm like, dang. So it was pretty embarrassing. You know, I had to get off. But in front of the friends, I kind of laughed it off. Mm-hmm. But from that point forward, like I pretty much avoided amusement parks. Uh-huh. But I kind of avoided amusement parks. So I'm like, no way, like I'm not going to go through that again. Mm-hmm. But recently, we took my daughter to Disneyland, and I was able to get on most of the little, you know, kid rides without an issue. Okay. And that's kind of another thing that kind of sparked it. Just a bunch of things kind of sparked this whole entire project. But I was able to get on the rides, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents out there that are like, there's no way I'm going to take my kid to Disneyland because I can't get on. So what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So I would love to give that kind of feedback as well as like, these are the kind of rides you can get on if you're a bigger guy, if you know, this kind of thing. And, you know, since I'm just starting out, everything's kind of fairly new. Eventually, I want to see, you know, if I could potentially reach out to these amusement parks and say, hey, is there any time where you guys are like barely opening up or you guys are closed, and I can just kind of walk around, just measure stuff and take pictures and then kind of provide that feedback again from a big and tall perspective. Yeah,
that would be helpful, you know, because, you know, I haven't been to Disneyland in forever, but I mean, I know like Six Flags or Knott's, you know, here in California, they're not very big man friendly. And I, you know, like you, I experienced that, even when I was younger and what I considered in better shape, you know, I was about 18 or 19 years old, and at the time, still able to kind of squeeze into a 1XL shirt, and that seems like ages ago. You know, I think I think at biggest I probably had like a size 50 coat, maybe but maybe like a 38 or 40 waist, which is pretty. I would say these days almost average size there. But I remember I was on a roller coaster and the buckles didn't like latch all the way. And I had to hold on tight. I was like, dang, I'm lucky I have all this grip strength from being a wrestler, because if not, I was going to, fall my ass off, And I remember, like, that was the case for a couple roller coasters, where it felt like, damn, this is, like, too tight. And, I was where I consider myself in decent shape, and that was a long time ago. I'm like, I can't even imagine trying to get on them now, Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, I know that feeling way too well. Like, I got on a ride, and then the latch, like, for whatever reason, like, it went down, but it was loose. So it still kind of clicked in there, but it was loose. And I asked the attendant, and they're like, oh, you're good. But pretty much the whole entire ride, like, I didn't care about the ride. I was just trying not to die.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's, for me, like, that's kind of my overall goal. That's where I know, like, hey, I'm back in okay shape when I finally get to ride, roller coasters again. I mean, I'm taking it, as seriously as I can, or as realistically as I can in this whole quarantine and whatnot, because it's kind of tough to, get anything done, Yeah. But that's what I want to experience again. I want to be able to do that again. But speaking of getting in shape, Mark, in your blog, you mentioned experiencing some weight loss, right? Talk about that a little. Like how did you get started? Are you still actively losing weight? What's your goal?
Yeah, of course. So, I was getting into like the high 400s after I got married. And my wife and I wanted to start a family, and I knew how to get it together. And like it's getting tough. So I decided to buy that bike that I reviewed on my blog.
Okay. And
started eating healthier, and I've gotten down quite a bit. I'm 350 now, and the bike, honestly, it's a great way to exercise. So even at the gym, and I got this Trek bike. It's awesome because it's a great workout. If you decide to get a bike, you're outside. It's easy on your knees.
Right.
And if you're bigger, your knees tend to start hurting if you're walking or trying to run or something like that. So it's a really good alternative. And then as well as pools, just kind of getting your whole body into it and kind of, a lot of cardio. And, where I live, there's a bunch of hills, so it gets pretty intense. So I have a mountain bike with a bunch of gears.
Yeah.
And it helps out.
Nice.
It helps out. So, all that kind of together, I have been able to kind of get down, keep it off for some time now. And it's good because we have my daughter now who's 2 years old, and she's a tornado.
Yeah.
She's all over the place. And I'm glad I was able to lose the weight, and because to try to keep up with her, it's really rough. And even right now, like I could barely keep up, and I can't even imagine a little bit bigger,
So you said you were like in the upper like 400s. Would you say then that you lost about 100 pounds?
A little bit over, somewhere around there, about a little bit over 100. That's
crazy, man. That's definitely admirable. I talked to episode 4. I talked to my younger brother. He did it twice. He dropped 100 pounds. He was very disciplined about it. But that's crazy. Like to tell people like, hey, I've lost 100 pounds in my lifetime. Most people can't say that.
Yeah.
So definitely kudos.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. It's tough, definitely. It's tough, and right now it makes it a lot tougher with quarantine.
Yep.
I'm working from home. My 2-year-old daughter's, jumping all over the place, so we're just trying to do whatever we can, give her little snacks here and there. And then my wife's about to give birth to our second little girl in about 2 weeks.
Oof, dang.
So I'm pretty much kind of taking all this on my shoulders, and it's kind of tough to kind of keep everything kind of healthy and all that. But I think right now I'm pretty much maintaining. So once the little one comes, and we know what we're dealing with her, then I think he'll kind of continue with, hitting it pretty disciplined.
For sure. What's your overall goal, man?
So overall goal is probably to get in like the 300s. Like, that's kind of my goal. And honestly, as far as numbers are concerned, that's not really kind of what comes to mind.
Yeah.
My thing is just kind of being comfortable. Like,
yep.
Going to the store, being able to buy a shirt and, you're good. It's easy. Mm-hmm. Like you said, roller coasters, amusement parks, event seating. That's kind of what my goal is. Mm-hmm. As far as numbers, 300, but if I'm comfortable and I could, take advantage of any other kind of things like, clothes, like I mentioned, and things like that, then I'll be good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think numbers are a little bit arbitrary at times, because you look at it and even if you're like feeling better or whatever, you look at it, it kind of slaps you in the face sometimes where it's like, damn, I thought I was doing better, but everybody carries it a little differently, And
I agree.
Yeah. So
yeah, I agree. So like one thing that's funny, with me is that a lot of people when I was bigger, they're like, I mean, you don't even look that big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super 6'4", and everybody always tells me, like you're pretty much kind of proportioned, kind of more or less. But like you said, everybody carries it different. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like when, like I mentioned being a bouncer, but that's when I started putting on a lot of the weight because I didn't sleep at night. And sleep has a lot to do with your weight and everything. But I was still in pretty good shape, a lot of upper body muscle and everything. And when I told people that I was at that time, close to 300 pounds, they're like, there is no way, same thing. They would look at me and be like, you're like, you gotta be like, maybe 220. I'm like, maybe back when I was a freshman or in high school, but, everybody carries it differently. So like, I think, though I'm not like an expert, I would say, if you're looking at just numbers on a scale to kind of gauge where you're at, it's the wrong thing to do for sure.
I would agree.
But something that is a little more tangible, I think, is what X are you on? As far as like your clothing, because that is something that can be very problematic too. Where, like for me, for example, I hate when people try to shop for me for like gifts or anything like that. Cause it's like, it's not going to fit, cause you're going to like a store that everything kind of, caps out at 2X. Right. And yeah, I haven't seen that since like age 20, like it's just not going to work, cause I'm kind of like oddly proportioned at this time where it's like, if you get like 2X shorts or sweats, or something like that, and gift them to me, I'll be like, I'm cool, I'm good, right? But if you get me a 2X sweater, it'll fit like a half shirt with a girl at fucking spring break,
Crop top.
Exactly, man. And that's what I wanted to, I really wanted to touch on. I wanted to get into was the world of big man fashion, because a lot of people don't think about that, but I've definitely put a lot of thought into it. What's been your experience shopping for clothes as a big man?
So my experience as a child was a lot different than it is now. But kind of overall, finding nice clothes that fits well is just, really hard. It's either one, really expensive, or like it's too wide and not long enough, specifically for me. Or wide enough, but not long enough.
Right.
So it's always like a headache. And I always kind of, different brands have different ways that they fit.
Exactly.
It's definitely like a headache. And what you mentioned, like when people want to gift you something, I'm like, please, no clothes. No clothes. It's not going to work. And what it always happens, someone tries to buy me a shirt or a sweater. I'm like, all right, thanks, appreciate it.
Like, I'll use it for a wash rag or something, right?
There you go.
For the longest time for me, I think it was super frustrating trying to go shopping for clothes because you're just so limited. You have to settle for like the plaid clothing or flannels or whatever. Hawaiian shirts, which actually I'm a fan of Hawaiian shirts. And the last episode of my podcast, the Singles Panel, they kind of clowned on me for that, but it's all right. Or you have to, have those hideous pastel colored polos with the little belly band on them, or the t-shirts that say something stupid and ridiculous like Big Dog or something like that, Where do you shop for clothes?
So, personally, the jobs that I've had, they require that I have to dress professionally.
Right.
So the place that I've gotten most of my clothes is Destination XL. So DXL.
Yep.
That place is awesome. I love the place. I'm planning actually to do a lot of clothes reviews from them. And just kind of buy them, kind of review them, and just kind of give my honest opinion. Like, will this work? Will it not?
Yeah.
The only downside that I can say about DXL is sometimes it could get a little pricey.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit pricey. But if you sign up with their mailing list, I know that I always get all these crazy, like 50% off or buy one, get one and all this stuff. So that's really awesome. And I pretty much take advantage of that most of the time. But yeah, that's pretty much my place to go is DXL for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I love that store. When they opened up a location in the West Covina Mall around me, I was super happy. I went in there. I was kind of reluctant, because anytime you go clothes shopping, it's like still kind of a bad taste, and it's like I'm gonna go in there. I'm not gonna like anything. It's gonna be too expensive. And then I walk in and everything's like, whoa, hey, that looks pretty cool. Like, they had good styles, a lot of variety. The prices I thought were fair, but they did have a lot of like bundle discounts, like, buy 2 of these at this price kind of thing. So that was, that was kind of nice. But even like, the experience of it, they walk you in and they shake your hand and talk to you. And then if you want to go to the changing area, it's this big, comfortable changing area and everything. So it's an experience for sure. It even smells really nice in there, But before that, before I discovered DXL, I kind of had to settle for like the scraps at Burlington, right? Or like JCPenney if they had anything available. I hated, that's probably why I hated shopping for clothes so much, because Burlington had a bunch of crap, Like they might have had like a nice little Izod shirt or something like that fit, but it was like a crapshoot,
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Like with DXL, I like that. Like you said, I like the attention. It's pretty awesome. That smell. It's funny that you mentioned it. I bought one of their candles because it smells awesome.
Yeah.
So DXL, I really, really like that experience. But I agree with you 100%. It's like before they had that. It's pretty much like you said, Burlington or like a JCPenney. And it's just like, you're just going there. You're like, okay, let's see what we get.
Yep.
But it's funny that I've noticed about the clothes, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but it kind of fits good once.
Yeah.
And then once you wash it, forget about it. It's either two sizes too small or it's all floppy. And you're like, what happened to my shirt?
You know what? I think that you mentioned it's kind of like the brands that do that have like a different effect. Yep. Because that would be great to review because some like the brand Synergy, they make like really nice shirts. Great great patterns. The material's a little nicer, but once you wash it, it goes to crap. And but the thing is that I think those are like meant to dry clean, most of them, but.
That's true.
Yeah, like once it's kind of like you put it on once, and if you wash it the wrong way, it's done. But I like certain brands like Harbor Bay because they've been getting a lot more variety as well, and they fit a little bit better in my opinion. But they don't have as cool a look as like something like Synergy.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Like Harbor Bay, that I got a lot of shirts like that. Synergy as well. But yeah, like the Synergy is kind of like that modern kind of like look. The pants are kind of all modern, and like you said, Harbor Bay kind of tends to be like kind of pushing it with that kind of Burlington style. But yeah, it's still like it's a good quality, definitely.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying a little bit more. Because like if I look at something like from Synergy or whatever, it's like the clothes that I would wear to like somebody's birthday at a nightclub or something like that,
Yeah.
So like that's kind of sometimes what you're going for. But if I'm going for an everyday look, I'll stick with Harbor Bay. But I've tried pretty much every brand they've got, so it'd be interesting to see some reviews for that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you tried or looked through the King Size? I think it used to be called King Size XL, but that website where it's kind of like DXL.
To be honest, I haven't really looked through it, but I did take a look at it today, and it does kind of have that feel, kind of like that Burlington JCPenney kind of.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I am not a fan, man. I remember like when I was first kind of getting bigger, and I'm like, damn, I got to start shopping at a different store. That was one of the bigger options, right?
Yeah.
And I hated it, man. Everything looked exactly like I mentioned earlier, like that undesirable, like typical, like a almost clownish big man look, and it's like, why are you? And some things just don't make any damn sense. It's like, why are you selling like sleeveless denim vests? Like, who the hell's gonna? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That's like, if I'm like and not to generalize here, but if I'm like a West Hollywood big man, I might buy that. But like for my everyday look, I'm not gonna wear that.
Yeah, no, there's some funky stuff out there, and I question, like, man, what's going on with that?
One cool option that I saw pop up a couple years back was the Winston box. Have you heard of that?
So I haven't, but I did take a look at it, and honestly, I was talking to my wife. I was like, I think they're going to gain a subscriber because that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and from what I was reading, kind of more or less, I think it was like $75 or something like that, somewhere, and then they'll send you clothes. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm definitely going to take a little bit deeper look into that.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a free plug here because they were really cool. They, I think they send you 2 to 4 items a month. Your first box is at $50, but I think, monthly subscription is $75. I really liked a lot of the stuff that I got from them when I gave them a shot. I actually went to their warehouse. They had, every now and then they'll have like a big kind of clearance sale where you can buy, shirts and pants and stuff like that for like dirt cheap. I'm talking about like probably, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% off.
Wow.
Yeah. And the day I went, I don't know if he's still involved with it, but have you seen the movie Mean Girls?
I have.
The guy that plays the character Damien, I think his name is Daniel Francesi. The guy that goes, "You don't even go here."
Oh, yeah.
So he was there because he actually, I don't know if he was part owner or like creative director or something like that, but he was there at the warehouse, and like that kind of added to the whole appeal of the Winston box too. Is that they had like a well-known spokesperson for it. But yeah, definitely check it out. I will caution you with this though. Their pants I think fit well, but some of their shirts, just be careful with it, because I remember I hope they've worked out the kinks, because when I tried on, like I usually used to wear like a 4X shirt, and there was a couple shirts where I'm like, hey, look, I tried the 4X, okay, whatever, I'll go. I don't mind. I don't have like that ego about me where it's like, okay, well, if the 4X isn't fit, I'm done. I'm like, I'll go up an extra X. I don't give a damn,
Yeah.
But I went to the 5X. I tried the 5X extra large and tall, 5XT. And then I even tried the 6X, which I've never worn in my life. And like that didn't even fit. So, but they're really good about exchanging things. So I would still give it a shot. They have a lot of different cool looks. What I appreciate about like something like subscription box is that they'll make you, wear things that you don't normally wear and give them a try,
Yeah, that's really cool. I had seen that. So definitely something I'm going to take a look at.
For sure.
And, you mentioned, like with the sizes, it's funny with like brands and stuff like that, how much it changes. Because myself personally, I'm a 3XT, so 3X tall.
Okay.
And so like I'll be wearing one thing, and then all of a sudden I take a look at another brand, and it's like you said, a crop top. I'm like, where did this come from? Yeah.
Just for just out of curiosity, man, because I know you mentioned you lost all that weight. What size were you at your biggest?
I was probably like at a 5, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah,
like 5X tall.
And I think that's usually where a lot of places kind of cap out, man. Because like even like if you're buying T-shirts and stuff like that, which that that's usually like it's a little easier to find like a 5X T-shirt than it is to find like a 5X button-up shirt. That's usually where it caps out, huh?
Yeah, somewhere around there. It was kind of tough, and I did like a lot of pro clubs.
Oh yeah,
pro clubs.
Yeah.
Those always a good go to.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah, I mean, it's on the tougher side. So
yeah,
and
you just got to make sure with the pro clubs, all the skinny cholos aren't taking the 3XL, 4XL T-shirts for themselves.
Right. you gotta get there before that.
Before the skinny cholos with the little black gloves on. Yeah. So, while we're talking about the concept of big man fashion, I pulled social media. I like to do the whole social media says thing for the podcast. And the question that I asked was, what are some things that big men just shouldn't wear, right? So your opinion as a big man counts for a lot. What are just some things that big men should not wear ever?
So personally, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, I say like horizontal stripes, definitely probably not a good thing. Thin material shirts, like I don't know if you kind of pick up on that when you go shopping. It's like if this thing feels like it's a piece of tissue, like I don't think it's gonna work out.
Right. No.
So thin shirts definitely not that good. Tight shirts for sure, and then shirts that are not long enough.
Yeah.
Those all for me, they're just personal and things that I've seen others, like my dad, it took him some time to understand, like, hey man, I think you're going to have to get tall shirts because he'd be walking around like his stomach sometimes would hang out. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You just get a tall shirt and you'll be good to go. So definitely, I think those for sure. And it kind of goes through, like I spoke to my dad, and others that I've seen, like their stomachs kind of coming out or it's too tight or they have a sweater to cover everything up. And just, so those for sure, I would say, probably wouldn't be, things to go to. Like I want to potentially, help people be informed about resources out there, like, the DXL and the talls and, what fits good and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was one of those people when I was younger. So like my parents, they didn't know where to take me to get clothes,
Right.
So I would go to the men's section when I was like, 14, 15, something like that, take me to the men's section. And then I would get some pants and they have to hem the bottom. Right. And then I don't know if you ever heard that brand Rusty, like
No.
Rusty. No.
No.
So I think they had it like at Macy's or Robinson's May back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like it's basically just a plain shirt with a pocket. So I used to wear those like I used to wear those in like elementary, going into kind of middle school, and because those are pretty much the only things that fit me. And like my mom would take me to stores also that had like Fat Farm or Sean John, because those are the only ones that kind of had the sizes that would go up to, to my size.
Right.
And then shoes were also an issue. So I would wear them on the sides because they weren't wide enough. So on my blog, I pretty much kind of want to eventually try to address all those things because I know maybe somebody just doesn't know.
Right.
I know in today's day and age, I'm sure it's not something you can just go real quick on the internet and figure it out. But hey, if I can help a couple people, then that'd be awesome. Yeah,
man, you're doing God's work with that, man. Because like, if I just came from Big Bear, over the weekend, and I wish that people would review some of these things, like, and let like Airbnb people know, like, hey, you have like cheap furniture that's not big man friendly, like. I can't sleep on a damn like IKEA bed where the wood planks are like super loose and always sinking. But yeah, it's helpful to know like what you're in store for. Like if I have a better idea of what to expect at like a concert venue, or, you know, if I'm buying a car, you know, that's really super, super helpful. I'm actually, you know, curious to see some of the reviews that you have from different cars. You know, are you gonna get into, like, you know, friends and family's cars and just be like, okay, well, this one is not big man friendly, this one's big man friendly? Is that what you're thinking of doing?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. And the tough thing is, like, when I came up with like this project, I was like, I had asked like my wife, and it's like, is this too broad of you know, of something that I'm trying to tackle? Like, is it too much of a big range? And she's like, well, I mean, it could be. Like, do you want to focus on one thing? And I'm like, no, because you know, the big and tall, you know, community, it's not just one thing that we face; it's multiple. And I guess that'll take some time, but that's exactly what I want to do. Like, I want to go first, like, go into friends and family's cars and say, like, hey, this fits, you'll fit here.
Right.
Like, one of the funniest things ever is when I met my wife, we're in college. You know, she's like, oh, let's go to Starbucks. I'm like, you know, okay. And so I walk into the parking lot, and she's over there getting into a 2-door Toyota Yaris.
Oof.
Like, and I'm like sitting there like, you sure you don't want to take my truck? She's like, no, come on, let's go. I'm like, okay. And to my surprise, I fit perfect. I was comfortable, knee space, head space. But those are the type of things that I kind of want to eventually just kind of get out there and say, like, hey, guys, like, you will fit good in this car. Like, you might look a little funky. People would sometimes laugh at me because I was so tall. My head, like, if people looked in the front of the car, like, my head was kind of cut off. But, like, overall, like, space, like, I was able to drive it perfectly, sit in the passenger seat perfectly. And if I can just go through, like, a bunch of cars, family first, and then eventually potentially reach out to, like, a local dealership and just say, like, hey, this is what I do. Can you allow me, you know, a couple hours in your lot? And I want to go ahead and review these cars. Like, I want to get into a Camaro and say, hey, you know, you'll fit here, or maybe you won't fit here.
Right.
I want to get into this kind of car, and eventually, you know, hopefully, just kind of grow. But first things first, definitely in families' cars to start off.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I like how you mentioned the Yaris. Immediately, I thought, like, yeah, right, like, that's not gonna work, you know. But, like, sometimes I see, like, a big, like, SUV. Like, I was in someone's Jeep, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be able to fit in there. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing's built for women these days. Now it's so tiny, you know, like, there wasn't enough shoulder space or anything like that. So it's interesting. That I'm very curious to see how, you know, a lot of these reviews go. One idea you might be able to take, maybe, you know, to get a broader range, maybe you can have people, like, email you, or submit, you know, like, reviews and stuff like that to kind of get, like, a broader range. I don't know, just something I'm throwing out there. Yeah,
that definitely seems like that could work. Like, kind of get people's feedback based on their size and just kind of, you know, put it out into the website. That sounds like a good idea.
For sure. Before we close out, Mark, is there anything else that you'd like to mention or talk about? Any plugs or shout outs?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to thank you for allowing me to come on your podcast and talk about this project.
Definitely.
For anyone who is listening and thinks that this could help you or anyone you know, tell them to check out my Instagram. That's Living Big and Tall. Or my website is livingbigandtall.com. Or you could just email me at mark@livingbigandtall.com. You know, I don't want people to think that this is only for big and tall individuals.
Right.
Even though it does cater to them, the information on there, I mean, it could be helpful to anyone, right? And, you know, just me personally, I never think small. So I want this project to become like a large platform, you know, hopefully, you know, that's my goal. And hey, I got to work for it. But something kind of like an Expedia or something like that, because, you know, here in America, you know, we're on the bigger side. So why not have something that, you know, that could help potentially millions, you know, right? Because there's a lot of big people in this world. So
right.
It definitely needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of traction and things like that. So one other thing that I could say is that, you know, anyone's listening, anything like that, any kind of tips on website enhancement or just blogging overall or any kind of potential partnerships, I'm definitely more than happy to connect with anyone. Like I said, in my blog, I came from trying to, from high school, working overnight shifts. So, I wouldn't see people because I was kind of shy of my size and stuff. Kind of getting into a corporate trainer, it kind of just shows that, I'm kind of that person that doesn't stop. So I just continue. While it's like, don't you ever rest? I'm like, I wish that would work. So, it just shows you, the kind of determination that I have, and that pretty much like nothing's impossible. So even if people just want to talk, connect, more than happy to talk, with you or just kind of anything. Definitely, let's live our life, live life.
There you go. That works again perfectly. So thank you again, Mark, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And you're always welcome to come back on the podcast to update us about the blog or to talk any subject, really. I'm open to subjects all the time. But thank you for joining us for part 1 of episode 19.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Appreciate it.
All right. Again, that was Mark Zepeda from Living Big and Tall, the blog. Definitely check that out. Check out his Instagram. Let's join part 2 of the conversation with returning guest George Hernandez. All right, let's welcome back from episode number 9, George Twinkle Toes Hernandez. George, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? What's going on? Just over here trying to survive this heat out here.
Yeah, same here, man. Fucking sweating my balls off right now. But it's you're a like we were just talking about. You're a multi-time podcast guest. You're a pro by now. So definitely glad to have you back. Just quick catch up. What'd you think of the episode after it aired when you did episode number 9 with us?
I mean, it was cool. I think I kind of was messing up when the people wrote in what they thought.
Yeah,
that's where I kind of little stumbled a little bit. But besides that, I think everything else went good. I mean, we talked about everything we wanted to. Wrestling, fighting, football, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of good feedback on that one. I think people really they really enjoyed it, because it was a pretty long episode, but we had like good variety and shit, so that's always good to have. But shit, man, even just catching up from there, I thought, the quarantine was almost over apparently when we first talked, but now what's up with that? It's still going on.
Man, what since then? When was that episode? I think early June.
Shit, man. Yeah, it had to have been, yeah.
Well, a week later, I fucking got the Rona.
Yeah.
So I had the Rona like a week later, and then tested positive did my 2 weeks. Tested again to make sure I was negative twice, and then ever since then, it's been trying to stay safe and work out a little bit. Started hopping out of the boxing gym.
Yeah.
No football. Our football season got pushed back, so waiting on that. See if we're even going to play football. And I mean, that's pretty much it, man. There's really nothing to do. We wanted to go places, but by the time everything opened, I got the Rona.
Yeah.
I got off the Rona, then everything closed again. I was like, fuck, I missed everything. So, so I'm still on lockdown pretty much, or like all of us.
That's kind of crazy, man, because like we thought it was going to be over, and now it's just fucking back to the same old shit. And I mean, some places still don't care at this point. They're still trying to make their money,
Yeah, I mean, I see. I know barbershops. I know of tattoo shops, bars, and then now there's restaurants outside. But it's just it's hard, man. It's weird. It's strange going out there and seeing people with the mask and kind of depressing to me. I'm not the kind of person to be like, oh, I'm depressed or this and that. But it kind of gets you sad. Like, man, this is like the world we're living right now. Like, this is normal. Like these people with masks and scared. You can see it in their eyes. They don't want to get next to somebody or. Someone coughs and they fucking take 3 steps back, and it's just it's real it's sad for me. Just look around and see people, the fear in people when after having it. I don't think it's that crazy. Yeah,
it's kind of like a sci-fi movie, man. I never thought we'd be at this point where it'd be all fucked like that,
Yeah. Well, it's Trump's fault. This everybody says it's Trump's fault. So
yeah, well, exactly right.
He made this virus and this shot it in to all of us.
Yeah, I don't like the guy, but that's not fair, man.
Yeah, he'll get a little bit of everything. He'll get the the virus, the police brutality, the everything going on. But I mean, that's probably a subject for a third visit to the podcast.
Hey, we might have another fucking panel, and this one will be about the election. So I'll let you know, man. We'll have you go ahead.
A lot of people hate me because I'm a Trump guy. So a lot of people dislike me. But I mean, not because he's the greatest. Not do I think he's the greatest. No, maybe the less. I think maybe the less of two evils.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, we're stuck with some fucked up choices, man. Because the whole two-party system is fucked. Because you don't really have a choice. Just because you have two options doesn't mean that you have a choice. So I've never been a fan of that. But
like I said, I'm not a huge politician person, but just looking into what I do, like I think if Bernie would have won, I think he would have been an easy win. Yeah, and I think just people just don't want him. I don't know why people don't want him, and I think he would have been an easy win and easy would have beat Trump easily. And the last two elections, I feel like they screwed him, and we get Biden and Harris, two of the people that it's like what we're fighting against is putting people in jail and the police excessive force and all this, and then they got these two people there that they putting people in jail for shit. So I don't know.
As a wrestling fan, wasn't it kind of confusing where fucking Kamala dies and then all of a sudden
the next day
Kamala Harris gets the VP pick, and that's crazy because they have the same last name.
A couple memes when they're like, "Man, I thought he picked Kamala from WWE, but he died the day before." It's like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're here to talk specifically about a subject that I know well, and I believe you know well, is a big man fashion. I think it came from a post online where we were both talking shit about some stuff that big guys just shouldn't wear, right?
Yeah. It's just I just got tired because I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm a sneakerhead. If you say I have about maybe close to 100 pairs of shoes. I like sure I have a lot of shirts. I probably have honestly probably 200 shirts I just have with graphics on them. If it's different stuff, and then I see some of these guys on YouTube. I like watching the videos on their shoes, and some guys do fashion too, and I'll be like, "Oh, let's do a big boy fashion," and it's like, he wears an extra large. A big boy fashion extra large. I wore that shit in 6th grade. Yeah, that's not big boy fashion. You have big boy fashion, you go 3X and above.
Yeah, man. I think from my point of view, if you don't wear an extra large shirt, you're a small guy. I think that's just for any American. Yeah,
it's just it seems like every brand, every of these fashion brands, they all stop at extra large, 2X. And it's like, there's some big fools out here that like your shit too. Imagine how much money you make off them.
Exactly, man.
Charge more.
Yep.
Yeah, a $20 tee that goes up to 2X, whatever. If you make a 3, 4, 5X, whatever, you can charge $27, $30.
Exactly.
Trust me, they'll buy it because they want it because there's nothing out there for them.
And there's some companies, that are doing that and they're making good money from it. If you look at Under Armour, for example, I think they go all the way up to 5X.
Yeah, Under Armour, Reebok. Reebok goes pretty. It goes a 6X. I see that as I go to the DXL, the big and tall here in West Covina, and they have a lot of Reebok, Under Armour, Nike, but Nike tends to have real thin and short shirts. They'll have a 3X, a 5, 4, 5X, but it's wide and just short.
And it doesn't fit right. Yeah.
It's
how long, George, would you say you've been living the big and tall life? Because I know for me, I talked to our guest from part 1 of this episode, and I told him, I kind of noticed it more after high school. I know in elementary I was a little chubby, and then middle school, but high school I kind of felt a little more fit because of wrestling, and same thing with college, But how long would you say that you felt you were kind of living the big and tall life where you started to notice it?
My whole life, because in 4th grade we had to wear uniforms to school.
Yeah.
And we had to go get my shirts and my Dickie pants or whatever they were from the Husky section. So That's how when we still had. I don't even know if there's still a Husky section. I had to go get my shit from there.
Yeah.
When I'm in shape, when I was in fighting every other month, kickboxing, whatever it was, I still wore a 3X. And I was in shape. I was running every day, and I was on a treadmill, or I was doing rounds and teaching classes, and I was in shape. I could go with the best of them as cardio wise, and all the way to 3X.
Yeah, I mean, because like I didn't really know you in high school or anything, but I saw you around, and you know, you just looked like a big kid. You didn't look like a fat kid, you know.
Yeah, I think a freshman. I was 5'11", 230 pounds. Just played football, a little bit of baseball, and got in trouble, and that's it. And then by the time I was a senior, I think I was like maybe 250. I probably 6 foot, 250, 260. Yeah. Still just played football, got in trouble, and that's it. And I think back then my fashion was a plain tee, white, black, blue, just regular colors, gray, and some cool pair of shorts, some 501s. 501s go up to 60. I think back then I probably wore like a 40, 42, whatever. Yeah. And I was cool. I mean, I never liked the tight fit. I think that got more a little bit out of high school probably the last 5-6 years. But I think for the big guys, that shit don't work for us.
No. And you know, did you mentioned wearing a lot of plain t-shirts and stuff. Did you do a lot of the pro club shirts? Yeah,
pro club. If I needed the 2 shirts, I'll go the AA shirts or whatever they are. Because they're a little cheaper. Yeah. Because you can get the AA off the rack for $7.99, but if you want the pro club, they're in the back and they're at $10.99.
The thick material,
So if I had $20, but I had to get two AA shirts, I could get the pro club.
Yeah, our the guest from part 1 of the episode, Mark Zepeda from Living Big and Tall blog, he mentioned, you know, he had to really stick to a lot of the pro club shirts before, you know, he found anything else that he really liked, because, you know, at least the pro club shirts, they went up to the sizes he needed and everything. But really, when talking about big man fashion, you know, he's like, you're limited, and I experienced kind of the same thing, you know, when trying to shop for clothes. When I started getting a lot bigger, you know, when I got to like 3X and above, I'm like, fuck, there's nothing at the department stores, you know, like you mentioned, everybody stops at 1X, 2X, you know, all the cool shit that you want to wear, you can't because, you know, it's not available. But really for a while, man, it was really kind of frustrating because I'm like, you know, I don't want to wear the fucking Dickies and look like a goddamn UPS driver everywhere I go, because I know those, you know, those go up to the big sizes, but no, I want to look like a decent, you know, a decent human being with fucking decent clothes, you know? And
I like those like soft, like kind of like the sweat shorts, like the Nikes or the Champion. And you can find those go up to like 5X. And actually Champion was kind of big, so I bought a 4 in shorts, and they're way too big for me. So I need to go 3 next time. I like being comfortable since I do so much, and if I don't know if I'm going to go out, if I'm going to have to mess with my nephews and play catch with them, or my little niece walk around the block, or I don't want to be wearing, of course, like you said, Dickies or some shorts or I have to wear pants. Like, I found these, I'm comfortable in them. So that was the hard part, just finding comfortable stuff that's fashionable. Yeah. At our size. Yeah. Like thick ass sweats and like the sweatshirts they have for us, or even the pro club shorts. That's like, they're cool, but they're thick and they're extra long. Yeah. And it's like, man, I'm not gangbanging no more. I can't be wearing these. Like, damn. So is this you look for other ones, and the regular basketball ones, they're a little too tight on the nuts. Yeah. And you have to look for so I found Champion. Nike does good with them. Champion. And that's all JCPenney's bit, like the big and tall part of JCPenney's. Like, you can find some good shit on there.
Yeah, I think they've been, you know, they've been a little bit more like big man friendly lately. But you know, when I first started shopping for like 3X and above, like I mentioned to again the guy from the first part of the episode that I would go to like fucking Burlington because they would have the bigger sizes, but you have to settle for the crappy, you know, selection that they had left over. You know, so all the scraps, so all the ugly colored shit, you know. And for the longest time, it seemed to me that, you know, that's what you're stuck with, like wearing fucking plaids and flannels, you know, or like the I like Hawaiian shirts. People, like, in the last episode when I asked for, what big guys should wear, they're kind of clowning on me. They're like, oh, yeah, big guys shouldn't wear Hawaiian shirts. I'm like, well, I like them. But,
Yeah.
you're either stuck with flannels or Hawaiian shirts or ugly-ass, like, fucking polos that have the little belly band on them. So it was really limited, man. And then, a lot of the things that were available were things that I would say big guys should not wear. Right, so that's what I wanted to focus in on first really quickly was I asked social media for the social media says, like, what should big guys not wear? I got a lot of the same answer. A lot of people said skinny jeans, tight clothes, and then when I asked on the previous episode, at the end of the episode, like, what shouldn't big guys wear? They said, like, loud colors. Someone said, like, Spanx. I guess there's, like, big guys wearing Spanx and shit out there.
Oh, fuck. I don't know about that.
I mean,
Hey, but if big girls can wear them, how come big guys can't? Come on.
Yeah.
Quality here, man.
Exactly.
I want my fucking nuts hanging right there. What's up?
I mean, I'll do, like, an Under Armour or something like that to fucking wick the sweat, but I'm not gonna do, like, form-fitting fucking, like those... You ever seen those shirts that have, like, the fake abs on them and shit?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna do all that. That's a little much.
I threw on one of those. They sold them in
DXL?
like Hollywood or something, and I bought one for one of my weigh-ins.
Uh-huh.
I had a weigh-in, and then like I stuck to the side, put on the shirt.
Uh-huh.
So when I squared up with the guy, I had the shirt on with the abs and the pecs and everything.
Oh yeah, man, that probably looked pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right, man. If a guy wants to wear the Spanx, I guess more power to them. But in your opinion, and I know you're gonna be honest about it, but what's just some shit that like big guys just stay away from it? Don't wear it. Like, you look stupid.
Like, there's that fashionable stuff that people is love right now is like Supreme and Bape and these and I like it. I see some of the stuff like, man, that's cool. Even though shirts are for a box t-shirts $120 and I see guys try to buy them and it's like they don't make them in our size or even just buy a shirt and not buy it they're 6 foot and above and not buy a 3X tall.
Right. Like,
you buy a 3X, it fits you, but you barely move your arms in the fucking bottom of your gut showing. Skinny jeans, of course. Skinny jeans. Tight like the joggers. I like joggers, but I have to buy them like a size. So my legs are so big, I have to buy them like a size bigger.
Yeah.
Just because to loosen them up a little bit. And I think this is a lot of the stuff. This is the most fashionable stuff. Like we can't wear. It's like the stuff that we see all maybe some of our buddies wearing, or if high school kids are listening, that of course your homies are wearing, and they're wearing all this nice Supreme stuff and all this other stuff that's going on right now. It's like it just doesn't go like you sit down and it fucking rolls under you and it's up and you crack showing like we can't do it. I learned from so my head coach Coach C right there, Armani. He told one of the coaches because the coach came actually my cousin. He was going to coach with us. He's a little stocky dude. He's like, hey, what's that shirt you wear? We were at Norwalk at the time. He's like, extra large, coach. And the coach looks at him like, his name's Cruz. Hey, Cruz, there comes a time in your life when you got to put that extra X on your T-shirt, boy. Because it's just like, I know some people want to dally and they don't want to buy, pay the extra when it starts getting to 3-4X and you have to pay the extra $5, $6, $7. But hey, you got to do it if you want to look, I think, presentable. Because I don't be kicking on my homies and they're 6 foot, 300 pounds and they're wearing a 2X. Like, no, you trust me, you're not wearing a 2X, at least a 4.
Yeah. Like,
I already know, like, there's brands that I could wear that I could get a 4X tall.
Yep.
Cool, like Harbor Bay and them right there at the big and tall. Like, I could get a button-up 4X tall, boom, fits good. If I get, like, a plain shirt, I have to go 5X, a regular. Right. And some people, like, they only want to, like, oh, what's that shirt you wear? And they get all embarrassed because they wear, like, a 3X. Like, no, if you wear, it doesn't matter what size you wear. Like, I could wear a tight-ass, like everybody else, they wear a 3X. That's just not
and
presentable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll look stupid, right?
Go to work. Yeah, I go and talk to these kids, talking to parents or whatever, because I work at the high school, and tie that shirt on, all fat. Like, come on, dude, hide a little bit. Because trust me, you wearing that is making you think that you're not as big as you are. It's about a bigger shirt. It'll make you look a little less big.
No, that's true. You know, I don't know what it is about the whole like ego or mental part of it where it's like you don't want to go a size up. Like if it's fucking available, just fucking do it. Like, you know, deal with the you know the reason behind it later, you know, because one of the things is that, you know, you're not going to change it overnight. You know? Even if you're trying your best to lose weight and, you know, get back to like a 2X, 1X size or whatever, it's going to take a lot of time, you know? So when people just try to force themselves into like fucking something that's not going to fit, it looks terrible, man. I remember for a while there was like a trend where, you know, big guys were trying to do like the super tight look. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know, like when skinny jeans started becoming prevalent for men, which I don't agree with that, period. You know, I don't think regardless of size, I'm like, you know, why are men wearing fucking skinny jeans, low rise and all that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're sharing that shit with, it's like they're showing pants with their girl and shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's like, I know a couple people and they wear, these tight ass pants with a tight ass shirt, and then also being a big guy, just doing this line, all this lineup. We got that jawline, boy. Like we got that double chin going on. And then those tight clothes is just all of it, just like, man. And I understand that some styles would be like, oh, these folks talking shit, they got style. Like, trust me, I got style. We got style. It's just. Like that right there is just not. I know it's like I know you're not comfortable,
right?
First off, because I'll put on a 3X shirt I got right here, and I'll be uncomfortable like a motherfucker. I'll put on some of my some old pants or something or some old sweats I have, and it's like it's just uncomfortable. Like I know you're not comfortable walking around in that shit. Yeah. You might think you look good, but it might look good off of you, like when you have it laid down on the bed after you ironed it. Like that shit looks cool. Well, you put it out, stretch that motherfucker out, and that shit, you can see your belly button fucking hole in that motherfucker. Like, nah, like that shit don't look good.
No, man, yeah, you're right. You know, sometimes it's just like go that extra X. Because I remember, you know, you mentioned like the store DXL. You know, that's my go-to, man. And I remember when I first started shopping there, and you know, I wanted to get a shirt in my size and it didn't fit right. You know, it would look really cool. I liked it. But it was just a little tight. And I'm like, I guess, you know, like, I'm going to have to choose something else. The lady goes, oh, well, you could try you know, a size up if you're comfortable with that. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm comfortable with that. You know, like, why wouldn't I be? You know, it's like, I'm not going to be all shy about it and be like, you know, if it's available, I'm going to take it. You know, like, I'm going to work with what I've got. You know?
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of the mentality sometimes is like, you know, you're either going to settle and look sloppy or you're going to try to fucking force yourself into something that just doesn't work for you, you know?
Yeah, like I seen like right there at the DXL, they always have sales and they have like the shirts like the Marvel shirts and the DC and Dan Lot, whatever it is, and they have big sizes all the way up to like 7X tall, and it's like cool. Like I'm like in those shirts I could get like a 4 tall and be good. And I could wear that with a pair of like just kicking around the house and a pair of shorts and those champion shorts and just relax, walk my knees around the block and or I could go to my spot right now is I go to the Hacienda outlet right here on Hacienda. People are real cool and they have good prices and they go up to like 6X almost in everything.
Okay,
so I go get like a 4 or 5X Streetwise or the they have OG family and that's my style. I know that's not that style not for everybody. But they got cool graphics on them and they got their shit. The pictures on them sometimes they're a little thick because I forgot what it's called, like the screen print, whatever they put on it. Yeah. But hey, it's style and it's cool and they have some good shirts. And then right now, so I don't do AA no more. I don't do Pro Club. The Shaka shirts, perfect. Plain tee. You can never go wrong with a good plain tee, a white tee, black, blue, iron, and a pair of fucking 501s. Like, fuck it. Like, you can go somewhere or you just whatever. You can wear with sweats, fucking some pants, some shorts, whatever. It's just, I don't know, but people just want to be wearing those fancy tees with those drawings on it and name brands. It says Supreme or it says all this other stuff, which I really like. But hey, dog, it's not for us.
Exactly. That's like when big guys used to try to fucking shove themselves into like Hollister and shit. I'm like, oh, come on, man. You know?
Or that fucking, what was it, Ed Hardy in Affliction?
Oh man, I used to try to do Affliction. Like, I know like how bad that is, because like that's when I was still able to wear 2X or 3X. But like even a 3X in Affliction was like a fucking like it was like wearing a fucking bikini top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why it's just like. Sometimes I'll throw on, like, I have smaller shirts I'll throw on under, if I'm working out, or I'll throw it on, like, under a sauna suit. Mm. Get that sweat. Yeah. And then, and I'll put a regular shirt on over. Yeah. Like, I've been going to the gym, sometimes I'll do that. Like, I'll wear one of my bigger shirts, the cut-off sleeve sauna, and then one of the smaller shirts on the bottom and get that sweat going. And I keep all my shit. Like, I'll be like, one day I'm going to be able to go fit in those fucking 3X again. Like, I have all my shit in my closet, so...
Yeah. It's the motivation, right?
Yeah. Hey, I have a whole rack. I have a whole shelf full of 3X. First 4X, and I got another rack of 3X, so when I go down and I'll start giving the bigger shit away, it's like... But these people, I don't know what it is. It is what they see. Like, they think because whoever on TV wears that shit, fucking... Whatever, Kanye West or whoever wears it, like... Oh, fuck, I want to wear that shit. But it's like, dog, can't do it, man.
I don't want to do anything that guy does. So, as far as brands, let's say you're going somewhere nice. You're going to like a nice dinner or fucking wedding or something like that. What brands do you like at DXL for like, nice collared shirts?
I go the Harbor Bay.
Yeah.
They always have, and they have cool. They go, honestly, when you said Hawaii shirts, I've been looking for a good Hawaii shirt, but I don't want to buy it online. Yeah. So when I go to DXL, fuck, they never got my size. They're like, well, they got one size smaller, one size bigger. And it's like, damn. Or they don't got the tall and the 4X, or and then they miss the 5. It's like, fuck. But Harbor Bay always has real nice shirts. Yeah, they got some cool ass shirts for our size. They have all the tall. They have the regular. And even have like this one where like a collar shirt, like a polo, whatever. All the colors from fucking white to burgundy, black, everything, yellow, whatever color you want.
Patterns. Yeah,
the patterns, the stripes, all that shit. And then for pads, I still go with some Levi's.
Yeah.
Some 501, some pair of Levi's. Even Harbor Bay. They have their own pants right there at DXL for what they're called.
Yeah, it's something.
They're pretty comfortable.
True something, right? It's like True
Nation or something.
True Nation. There you go. Yeah, that's cool, man. And
they have that relaxed fit, and that's like a pair of pants. Like they have like the real light blue ones. Like I forgot what it's called. They like they've been washed and shit. They have like little darker blue ones like that. And it's cool. Like, ain't no one looking at your pants, though. We ain't chicks. I know a lot of these people be acting like chicks now, but I ain't no chick. I gonna look at it. Oh damn, this fool got on some fucking True Nations on. He ain't wearing no motherfucking Levi's. I don't give a fuck. You could have got your shit from you could be wearing some Wranglers for all I give a fuck. If they fit you, cool, homie.
Yeah, there's sometimes a little bit too much emphasis on the name brand and stuff like that. But the guys that try to fit themselves in the pants that don't fit, man, they end up looking like they have a mangina anyway.
Yeah, like you guys are fucking $500 pants on. If those shit tight as fuck, trust me, I'm gonna clown your ass. As long as I talk to you, even if I've known you for 5 minutes, I'll make a comment. If you can have on a pair of fucking Wranglers, they fit you. Hey, nobody looking at those. Ain't nobody tripping on those. But you have those fucking, I don't know what kind of pants are $500, but I'm pounding on your ass.
As far as the brands for like shirts and stuff like that, I like Harbor Bay. They're very consistent, man. You should if you want to get like a nice Hawaiian shirt from Harbor Bay, you should just order the size you normally wear. They're very consistent. They always fit the same, because that's always one thing I'm worried about. Like, fuck, if I order online, I'm gonna have to send that shit back because it's not gonna fit right. Harbor Bay usually keeps their size. Like, there's another brand that I really like from DXL's Synergy. Their shit looks cool, man, but sometimes with them, it's hit or miss. You get it in your size, and it's only good for like one time, and after you fucking wash it, it shrinks. It's not. I like it for like if you're going to a nightclub or something like that, like a special, like event. But Harbor Bay is more like the day to day for me.
Yeah, I have a pair of I had to send I had 2 shirts. Actually, it was the same shirt. First time I was driving to the motherfucking party, my buddy's birthday. I dropped some Jack in the Box taco sauce on it. So then I had to stop at the Almighty t-shirt, so I get a plain tee, and then I got a stain on it. So then I bought another one. But yeah, that Synergy one is good. Harbor Bay, and then the pants, they have the True Nation, and those even more like for the heat. Like if you have to go somewhere right now, you have to wear pants. That's better than a pair of Levi's because it gives you a little more of a breathe, little more. So that's not as thick. Yeah. And then when I was and then I like wearing muscle shirts. I grew up like that. Like my dad always wears muscle shirts. My brother, like my uncles, already wear muscle shirts. So or the wife beaters, whatever they call them. It's even hard to find those. Like I bought my size at DXL, and those shits were like t-shirts. So I was like, man. So I like them a little tight, and you put on a white shirt over it, boom, and you put on that button up over that. It's cool. It's just I'm just so used to wearing them like my whole life. I still buy them, and I get those from Hacienda Outlet. They go up to 5X, but yeah, man, I'm just a big clothes guy, like shirts and shorts. So actually, I cleaned out my shit the other day, and I had like over 200 shirts. I think I took one of my friends, like 40 shirts.
Dang, man. So what do you
those were,
what do you get, like the wrestling shirts, right?
Yeah, like 40, 50 of them wrestling shirts.
Dang.
And it's just, and I bought from I stopped buying them from WWE because they seem like they're getting shorter. They have this new authentic style they do, and they're like smaller and they're tighter. It's like, man. But I used to always buy the when they're just the other style, the other material. I had everybody. Austin, Goldberg, Ric Flair, I had everybody. But now they changed this. So I stopped buying them. I still have a lot. I'll wear them like for going to the gym or something. They fit cool. But I really don't want to wear them like to work. Like when I was wearing to work, I said no, I wear wrestling shirt. I would wear them to work or anything.
One of the things I wanted to touch on with the whole big and tall clothing and whatnot. You ever get like people when it's like Christmas or your birthday, they try shopping for you and buying you clothes and shit, and like for me it's like the last thing I'm like I will tell them right away, like the last thing you should get me is any clothes because it's not gonna fit. Like I have to be the one that buys it because I know what works and what doesn't. But you ever get people trying to buy you gifts and you just
they try to be cool, like, hey, we're gonna buy some like a shirt or something, like what size you wear. I said, dog, honestly it matters what brand, what style, because it could be a 4X tall, it could be a 5, it could be a 4 regular. Like I'm like, let's do something else because it's not probably not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not a quick answer, man. That's what I try to tell people a lot of the time is like, I'm not trying to make it difficult. I appreciate you trying to buy me, something nice, but just get the damn gift card.
Yeah. My big thing is like you can make a whole outfit with a good pair of shoes. Yeah. Like I have a big foot. I wear a size 14, so I'm wearing a size 50 whatever pants, 14 shoes, 4 or 5X t-shirt. So I got all that shit's big. So I think guys will be wearing those. One thing that guys wear is original Vans or the classic Vans, not the ones with the white thing on the side, but they wear the real plain Vans, like they're probably the cheapest ones you could buy. And dog, like, we're fat. I know we got some white feet. Like, and you're wearing also skinny jeans, like side of your foot's touching the floor in those Vans. You're wearing those skinny jeans, like, man, like, just buy some best shoes, big guy, Air Force Ones.
Really?
They run wide. They have them different colors, so you got to buy all white. I buy all white, but I put the crease protector in to keep them a little not so creased. And they have the ones with the blue stripes, dark blue, black. If you're into red, or you can buy the all black ones with the white stripes, like all different colors. Anything you need right there. Some 501s, and you can wear that fucking to a wedding. Nice pair of pants and a button up, or to the store. And it's just like those are real cool. The Air Force Ones, but.
Yeah, that's one thing I really haven't like explored too much is like shoes. I usually I I think I have a wider foot, man, but I'm mostly just wearing flip flops and shit if I'm not working, you know. But though you say those are good for wide foot. Any other suggestions for that?
A lot of the Air Max 95s, Air Max 97s, they run pretty good on wide foot. And the dad shoes. I got some right here. So this is a little bit. Let's see. So this is one part of them. Let's see if I can flip this shit.
All right.
So you got a little bit, and then some over here. But there's some. They're like remember the dad shoes, the Monarchs.
No, what? I don't remember those.
They're Nike Monarchs. They have the Nike sign. They're all white and dark blue.
Okay.
I actually got these dirty because I'll play with my niece in the outside. But
oh, you mean like okay? You said dad shoes, kind of like the old man grilling shoes.
Yeah. So this is they're called Nike 2K. So like they're like M2K. So like Monarch 2000, I guess.
Okay.
So they're a little more stylish. And actually, that's what they style right now because they're actually sold out. They're still like $100.
Mm-hmm.
But they have those in all white, all gray, black and gray, and I have like 3 pairs of those that run real good. Like those are real comfortable on wide foot.
Okay.
And wear those with a pair of like Nike shorts. Nike goes up big, and like on the basketball shorts, they look all tight on you. They all gotta look like Spanx and shit.
Yeah.
And they run big. Their shorts. Wear that with a pair of those and a fucking white tee.
Yeah.
And it's like you're cool. You look comfortable. You ain't trying to impress nobody. I know some fools out there trying to impress everybody, but hey, man, this is if you're comfortable, you feel good. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's perfect advice for anybody feeling a little insecure about their size, right?
Yeah, because remember, hey, most guys. I mean, some today is 2020. Some today we ain't wearing makeup. We can't be wearing makeup. We ain't wearing makeup and shit. So we at least gotta look comfortable, and look good. And so I think some good shoes, some comfortable shorts, a comfortable pair of pants, and a shirt that fits you. Mm-hmm. I think go a long way. Pulling some bitches.
All right, man. Well, shit. I mean, you know, it was a different topic to talk about for sure. You know, I wanted to bring it up because it's like nobody talks about this shit. You know, I think you know, definitely from part 1 and this part right here, part 2. I think we gave a lot of good tips to, you know, someone who may not know what they're looking for. You know, maybe you're like just because I think when a lot of people start to see that size growth is, you know, early 20s and shit like that. You know, so if you're a guy in your early 20s and you're going from that 1X, 2X world up until the, you know, the 3, 4, 5X, I think we definitely gave him some good tips here. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, if you hey, if you're one of those stores you go to, the spots to hit, just hit me up. Well, I can't remember my IG is, but just hit me up, man. It's just I'm not stylist. I'm not fucking. I got a lot of money in the road either because I know DXL is expensive.
Yeah.
But they got sales like
all the time.
Their graphic shirts are $37, but it seems like every other month they have it two for $40, mm-hmm. or 2 for like 45 or something. Or their polos are $27. If you buy 2, they're like $35. Mm-hmm. And you can just go like on those sites and grab 2 shirts, and then by the end of the month or a couple months later, you have 30 shirts and a couple pairs of pants. You can wear that shit every day, and it's like, and you're comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're not gonna be embarrassed to walk into that DXL. Mm-hmm. I see like sometimes I even watch, like I'll be walking up and I'll see guys walking by, like they'll walk by, like if they missed it and they'll like look around and walk back, like you know, bitch, who gives a fuck? It's like the girls that walk into Lane Bryant and shit, like they try to walk by that shit first, like who gives a fuck?
It's like you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, dog. Like I know you ain't trying to go to fucking the mall and go to that. You're gonna find nothing in the mall that fits you, boy. You better just hit that DXL. It's right next door.
Exactly.
Because like everybody goes this. That's why everybody goes to the mall with their homies. And West Covina, well, it's closed right now, but you go in there, they're going with their homies, and their homies are buying shirts and pants from everywhere. And then I know you're trying to buy shit here. You better just go next door. It's in the mall too. Go to DXL, dog.
Exactly.
It's probably gonna be a little more expensive, but you're gonna feel good. You're gonna be comfortable. Your balls ain't gonna be sweating. You're not gonna have your titty sweat on your shirt, all that shit. You're gonna be good.
For sure, man. That's good advice right there. All right, so anything else you want to mention before we close out? I know we did a little short piece right here, but anything else you want to talk about?
Like you, man, just stay safe. I'm not a big with everything going on right now. I'm not a big mask guy. I hate wearing my mask. But hey, let's go out there. Let's wear a mask and stay clean. Yeah. Pretty much for our kids. For we get out there and let the kids get back to school and play sports, because that's a lot of these kids. That's all they got.
Fuck, man.
It's fucking sports, keeping them out and fucking having them go to school. And a lot of these parents are struggling because they work their work schedule around their kids going to school, and now their kids ain't going to school. Well, mostly for the younger one, it's like, oh, well, this and that. Like, we should, like, yeah. But some people don't have that job they can just take off or have savings of 40, 50,000. Like, these people got to go to work. And how do you expect them to leave their 8-year-old at home by themselves? Like, or pay for a sitter? Or their time was they drop them off, they go to work, they get out, they pick up their kid. And it's like, it worked for them. And then now, because people want to be fucking partying and just going around with no mask. And I fucking hate my mask. I walk out the store, I take it off. I get to my car, I take it off. I look like a jerk off. I'll drive my car by myself wearing a mask.
No.
And but it's not like you're going in there and you're the only dickhead wearing a mask. Like, everybody's wearing a mask, dog. Just wear it. Just help our kids out, help our elderly out. Like, they're the ones. Honestly, fuck the Rona. Like, since this whole time been talking shit. I'm still talking shit, but it does hurt our older people, and it's hurting our younger kids, because they're suffering, not being able to hang out with their friends, which is a big thing for them. Not being able to go to school, play sports, see grandma and grandpa, and all this shit. So this fucking wear your mask and stop being fucking selfish fucking pricks.
Exactly. Perfectly put, man. All right, well, shit. Good little talk right here, and I think definitely looking forward to having you on at some point again.
So, hey, I still want to do that fucking
the pizza challenge.
That 3 pizzas. If you're from the SGV, you know Baby Bros. Pretty sure you know the Pulse, and I'm pretty sure you know Rios, and just try all 3, and this see which was the best. Some non-biased, like you said. You're not really a big those pizzas. So I think a good little cheese and pepperoni, or just cheese, and see which one's the best. Because the Post Office is out a lot, but Rios is awesome. Baby Bros, I know, pretty good. So it's just like, it's just a thing that people in the SUV always fight over, which is the best. So
yeah,
I think if we did a video, I think that would be real. I think that would be cool. Even if it's off your thing, a video or whatever. Have a camera. First, you have a camera. Or even us go out and fucking
double it up, man.
Go shopping. Shopping.
For sure.
Go shopping too, to show them, like, hey, look, this is what they got. I'm pretty sure DXL would love that, because, like, fuck yeah, because every time I go in there, there's no more than 2 people in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And gangs of people want to go. It should be packed like a Foot Locker or one of those stores in there, but it's not, because I don't want to go there. Shit, I was going over there around December when they had their sales, like every week, and they're like, man, they already knew my name and shit. I already knew their names. I was talking to them and shit. It's just. It's something we could do is see if these people like it.
Because there's some big motherfuckers in the San Gabriel Valley, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's fuck. What are you doing, shit? But older fools just making kids and fucking working and getting big, homie. That's it. But so did you have your barbecue yesterday?
Nah, man. I took a couple of weeks break off of that because I went to Big Bear, and then I just I needed a little bit of time to recoup because that shit's draining, man.
Yeah, because I had the last couple of weeks I went to Beaumont twice, and I was out on Saturdays and Sundays, so that's why I had to hit you up. I did those first 2 weeks. And I was talking about it the other day. I said, hey, dude, that's the fucking best barbecue sauce and ribs I've probably ever had.
Appreciate it,
and
man.
I was telling him with that bread, and he gave us that little bread with that tri-tip he gave us, and wrap it up in there, dip it a little bit. I was like, damn. And I was telling him, and so get that going too. Maybe we do a little video on that. Coming over, talking, eating that shit. Man, that should be some good shit. We do some good shit.
Hell yeah, man. I'll definitely get that going again. I'll post it up. Keep you in the loop, and then we'll get it going.
Okay, cool. Let me know. Just hit me up, man.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, man.
Talk to you later.
All right, I appreciate everybody listening at home. Thank you, fuck you, and good night. Subscribe to the Ignorance is Strength podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Like, follow, and share on Facebook and Instagram at Ignorance is Strength Podcast and on Twitter at The Ignorance Pod.